Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Friday. We got 10 matchups on this NBA slate today. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my links in the description below. And if you guys like betting on NBA player props, go ahead and check out ParlayPlay. Get $10 when you guys sign up. Use it on this action. Simple over-unders. Very easy. Get a nice little cash out as well. Tons of free tournaments every day. So many opportunities to make money. It's crazy. So go ahead and hop in there, guys. I think you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, we'll hop into it. Pretty busy slate today. 10 matchups. Starting with the Portland Trailblazers versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers opening up as 5.5-point favorites with the over-under at 231. The last three head-to-head, Portland 2-1. The over is hit in 0 the last three matchups. Portland dealing with a lot of question marks here. Zeller, McLemore, Covington, Nurkic, Smith Jr., Blevins, Watford, all questionable. The Lakers, Ariza, Bradley are questionable. Portland 2-8 in their last 10. Lakers 4-6 in their last 10. Portland, they've struggled on the road and against the Lakers. Just 2-14 on the road, 4-12 covering in their last 16 games, 5-10 covering against the Lakers. Lakers, they've struggled, man. 1-6 in their last 7, 2-7 covering at home. This is just an ugly game. I mean, how can you really how can you trust the Lakers, man? Time and time again, man. You think the Lakers are going to win, and they just don't. And it's just kind of crazy. A lot of question marks on this side here. I just think 5.5 points is too much for two teams that are horrible. Like, Lakers are not a good team. They really aren't. Everyone knows that. Give me Portland plus 5.5 on the road. Lakers, man, if you've been betting the Lakers, man, they've cost you guys a lot of money. I understand they're at home, but I mean, they've had a rough outing. I mean, had a bad game, had a tough loss against Memphis, and hard to trust either team here. Ugly game. Taking Portland plus 5.5. There's just no trust with the Lakers right now. Next matchup, we have the New York Knicks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Knicks opening up as 6.5-point favorites with the over-under at 205.5. The last three head-to-head, OKC is 2-1, 2-1 covering the spread. The over is hit in 2 out of the last 3 matchups. The Knicks, no Randall. Randall's going to be out. Fournier is going to be questionable. Nerlens Noel's questionable. OKC, SGA is questionable. Basley's questionable. A bunch of other guys are questionable with COVID. The Knicks 5-5 in their last 10. OKC 4-6 in their last 10. The Knicks, crazy. They're 2-8 against the Thunder, 3-10 on the road against the Thunder, 1-4 covering against the Thunder. Kind of crazy. Thunder, really great cover team. 21-13 covering the spread, 6-2 covering in their last 8 games right now. Yeah, no Julius Randle. That's a big loss for this Knicks team. Yeah, give me the Thunder plus 6.5 at home. I mean, Randle's gonna hurt, and you still have guys like Fournier and Noel and House Jr. all questionable. OKC has a lot of guys questionable as well, but yeah, no Julius Randle. I think that's too many points without their best player. Give me OKC plus 6.5 home. Surprisingly, they've been just the dominating head-to-head team here. Taking OKC plus the points at home. Next matchup, we had the San Antonio Spurs versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies opening up as 4.5-point favorites with the over-under at 224.5. The last 3 head-to-head, Memphis 3-0, 2-1 covering the spread. The over is hit on 2 out of the last 3 matchups. No major injuries. I mean, Brooks, Melton, Culver for Memphis are all questionable. Murray is questionable for the Spurs. Spurs 6-4 in their last 10. Memphis 7-3 in their last 10. Memphis playing great basketball right now. 13-4 in their last 17. I like the way Memphis has been playing. Spurs, they've been playing all right. 5-1 covering in their last 6 here. I just think John Morant is playing great basketball. This Memphis team, they've been a very surprising team this season, the way they've played. One of the better teams in the league, surprisingly, with all the injuries they've had. John Morant looking amazing right now. Give me Memphis -4.5 at home here. Next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Toronto Raptors. Clippers opening up as 4-point favorites with the over-under at 209.5. The last 3 head-to-head, the Clippers 3-0, 2-1 covering the spread. The over, just 0-3 in the last 3 games. A lot of question marks in this one. Batum, Jackson are both questionable. Toronto, Fred VanVleet probable, OG Anunoby probable, Birch probable. Getting a lot of guys back. Scotty Barnes probable. Yeah, they're getting a lot of people back to this Toronto team here. That's a good sign. The Clippers 5-5 in their last 10. Toronto 5-5 in their last 10 as well. Toronto 5-1 covering in their last 6. 6-1 covering at home. I like the Raptors +4 at home. Getting a bunch of their weapons back. Fred VanVleet, OG. And getting Scotty Barnes back is a nice addition. They're getting some other guys back as well. Clippers, still a lot of guys questionable. Yeah, I think it's a good sign for the Raptors, getting their guys back and giving them plus points at home. Yeah, rolling with the Raptors here. All right, next matchup, we have the Phoenix Suns versus the Boston Celtics. Suns opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 213. The last 3 head-to-head, Phoenix 2-1. 2-1 covering the spread. The over is just 0-3 in the last 3 games. Boston, I'm surprised this is only a 3-point spread. I feel like there's going to be a lot of line movement once this video is put out. Canner out, Schroeder is out, Jason Tatum is out, Smart is probable, Fernando and Smith are out. So yeah, no Schroeder and Tatum. That's a big loss. Crowder and Payton are both questionable. Phoenix 7-3 in their last 10. One of those is a 111-90 win over Boston. Boston just 3-7 in their last 10. They are not playing good basketball here. Phoenix 8-2 covering on the road. 10-2 covering against Boston. Boston 0-6 against the Western Conference right now. Yeah, without Schroeder, Canner, and Tatum here, hard to trust Boston at home. Love Phoenix. They've been playing great basketball. Boston, they've been trending in the wrong direction here. Roll with Phoenix -3 on the road here. Next matchup, we have the Chicago Bulls versus the Indiana Pacers. Bulls opening up as 2.5-point favorites with the over-under at 219. The last 3 head-to-head, Chicago 2-1. 2-1 covering the spread. The over is 0-3 in the last 3 meetings. Chicago, no major injuries, still no Lonzo Ball. Pacers, Brogdon is out. That's a big loss. Duarte and Jackson are out as well. Chicago 8-2 in their last 10. One of those, they just played Indy a few games ago, winning that game 113-105. Indy 5-5 in their last 10. The Bulls 4-1 covering in their last 5 on a nice little win streak, playing good basketball. The Pacers 0-5 against the Eastern Conference. 1-5 covering in their last 6 games here. And yeah, I like the Bulls -2.5 here on the road. Playing great basketball. Pacers not so good, and with no Malcolm Brogdon, give me the Bulls -2.5 here. All right, next matchup, we have the Miami Heat versus the Houston Rockets. Heat opening up as 4.5-point favorites with the over-under at 212.5. The last 3 head-to-head, Miami 2-1. 2-1 covering the spread. The over 0-3 in the last 3 meetings. Tucker and Haslam are out. Lowry's coming back. Jimmy Butler is questionable. Houston 2-8 in their last 10. Miami 8-2 in their last 10. Miami 5-1 covering against Houston. Houston 0-5 covering in their last 5 games. 1-4 covering at home against Miami. Yeah, I like Miami in this matchup. Been playing good basketball, even despite all the injuries. Houston, they just simply have not looked good here. Taking the Heat -4.5 on the road. Next matchup, we have the Atlanta Hawks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs opening up as 1.5-point favorites with the over-under at 219. The last 3 head-to-head, Cleveland 2-1. 2-1 covering the spread. The over is just 0-3 in the last 3 games. Atlanta, so many guys out. I mean, the list is so long. Cleveland, they did lose Rubio. No Jared Allen. Well, Jared Allen was out Thursday. A couple other guys were as well. Atlanta 3-7 in their last 10. Cleveland 7-3 in their last 10. Cleveland 26-7-1 covering the spread. Not in love with this matchup here, but I do like the Cavs -1.5. I just don't trust the Hawks. So many injuries. The chemistry just isn't there. The Cavs, they've just been playing good basketball despite their injuries. Give me the Cavs -1.5 at home. All right, next matchup we have the Dallas Mavericks versus the Sacramento Kings. Kings opening up as 1-point favorites with the over-under at 218. The last 3 head-to-head, Sacramento 2-1. 2-1 covering the spread. The over is just 0-3 in the last 3 meetings. Dallas, no Tim Hardaway Jr., Burke, Cauley-Stein, Boban, Kleber, Doncic. Bullock is questionable. Sacramento dealing with no injuries right now. Dallas coming off a 1-point loss against Sacramento just a day ago. Dallas 4-6 in their last 10. Sacramento also 4-6 in their last 10. Dallas 6-3 covering the spread in their last 9. 9-4 covering on the road. Sacramento 6-3 covering at home. Yeah, the Mavs dealing with tons of injuries. Basically the same amount of injuries they had just the other night, and they lost to Sacramento by 1. Neither team playing that great here. Honestly, a matchup I'm staying away from, and I'm going to roll with Dallas +1 here. Just because, I don't think Mavs are going to lose back-to-back to the Kings. If they do, that's kind of disappointing. But only a 1-point spread. I'm going to take the Mavs in this one. Coming off a 1-point loss to Sacramento. I think they can get a win here. Even without a lot of their guys. Porzingis and Jalen Brunson should be able to do enough to hopefully keep it close and get a nice win. But honestly, guys, stay away from this matchup. There's no money to be made in this match. It's such a toss-up. Stay away. Next, in the last matchup, we have the Utah Jazz versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jazz opening up as 10.5-point favorites with the over-under at 225. The last 3 head-to-head, Utah 2-1. 1-2 covering the spread. The over, 2 out of the last 3 matchups. Minnesota, I'm seeing D'Angelo Russell is questionable. Towns is questionable. And quarantine. This is a pretty high line, so I'm feeling like they're probably going to be out. No Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell is good to go. Minnesota 5-5 in their last 10. One of those was a 136 loss against. Yeah, 134-136 loss against the Jazz in that meeting earlier in December. And oh no, they actually did just play on the 23rd as well. A 12-point loss. They've lost their last 2 against Utah. Utah 8-2 in their last 10. Utah on a nice little win streak coming into this game. Yeah, Give me the Jazz, minus 10.5 at home. They've already beat Minnesota in the last 2 matchups. Minnesota coming into this with question marks with Towns and Russell. I feel like they're probably not going to play, so I'm taking the Jazz in this one at home. And that's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Friday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Saturday. Have a good one.